Alright, here we are, and we're just going to pick up where we left off last night, which I believe was doing the spine interface configurations. Okay, easy enough. I've already got them open. Now we still have an outstanding question as to why the load override on the spine switches did not catch the fact that all of our interfaces, oh, well no, spine 1's good to go. I guess it's just spine 2 that we were having problems with, because let's look at spine 1's configuration that we generated. Spine 1's configuration is wrong. What was it that I had pasted in here? Let's see, load override. How was it that oh my gosh. Had I been pasting in the backup configuration? I was. That's why we didn't see any changes on the boxes, because I had mistaken the generated configuration folder with the backup configuration folder. I was so proud of myself last night. Well, we probably hurt this thing pretty good. Let's do a show compare of rollback 1. This is going to allow us to see what was the difference in between our last committed configuration. And actually, it's kind of interesting. It looks like I've lost network connectivity to these boxes. Good job. That's this is why you always want to test out your automation in a lab environment well before going into production. And it's usually best if you've got a second set of eyes looking at this. Alright, open up leaf 3 and open up leaf 4. This video should be shorter for a couple reasons. One, I need to get back to work here probably within the hour. Second of all, I think for the most part for our playbook, we're actually in a really good spot where we could probably say that we're practically done. Let's say show compare rollback 1. Okay, so spine 2. Wait, what had passed? What had failed? Spine 2 did fail. Leaf 2 failed, and spine 1 failed. Why did leaf 2 fail? Okay, so one really cool part of our playbook execution is that we get a difference here on every one of our committed configurations. So I can see on excuse me, leaf 1 here we have these plus marks, so we know that these were added to the configuration. So we can see that we had created a user called Ansible, given them a SSH public key, password. We also had changed the user ID for Nornir. You remember when we did that a few videos ago. We had changed the user ID from 2001 to 3001. Okay. Created a username called Packet Ferret. Great. Removed the user Vagrant, which is just fine. That actually came defaulted with the box. Added a time zone. Added a DNS server. I'm sorry, added DNS servers. The wrong ones, but we definitely added them. A syslog server. Okay. We removed this extensions part of the configuration. We don't need to use this on ours. We also removed the force up on the LACP, which is interesting. I also removed the Ethernet switching configuration. Looks like we totally foobarred our aggregate Ethernet interface configurations. This was on which one? On leaf 1. Yeah, we'll have to revisit that to figure out what we did wrong. Okay, so we added SNMP. We added a description for the loopback. Let's see. Oh, we took some. Oh, yeah. I think we really messed some of this up. This is horrible. This is bad. But I think it's still something that we can recover from. First of all, let's just go ahead and fix the spine configurations for the interfaces. And after we have that done, then we can just move right along with the rest of our fun stuff. So on the spines, we're not going to have any aggregate Ethernet interfaces. So I'll just copy a single layer 3 routed interface, and we'll visit our spine. And I will delete all of our interfaces inside of here. Oops. I'm laughing. I was so proud, so proud. I was like, how is it that we managed to get by without any configuration problems? Well, the secret is that we didn't. Okay, scroll down here to Ethernet 23. All right, bye-bye. Let's delete this one too. Yep, bye-bye. Okay. So on spine 1, let's come back and look at our topology here. Actually, I've got it. No, let's go ahead and look at it. So spine 1, I'm going to have interfaces 1 through 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And the IP addresses on those should all have the same naming standard, something along this line. Okay, we'll go ahead and make those adjustments here. 2, 3, and 4. All right, so spine 1 looks like it's in a good spot. Excuse me. Okay, let's copy that over to spine 2. And let's just change this octet right here. Okay. That looks good to go. All right. Let's go ahead and regenerate our configurations. I'm going to disable this play again. Shame. Okay. So control and / comment out that whole section for us within Visual Studio Code. Let's run our playbook again. This will regenerate the configurations, and in the meantime, let's trash that. Ooh, sorry. Terminal, new terminal. See, oh, we're already here. Make run. CD into the Ansible directory, and Ansible playbook configuration network.yaml. Let's figure out why we can't communicate with spine 1. Let's do a show compare rollback 1. Okay, so this is exactly what we just saw on the inside of our console output. Things that had changed, things that had been different before. Okay, so we definitely have some misconfigurations in our YAML. For one, it looks like the point-to-point connection style for protocols ISIS is missing. Okay, we added some descriptions. That's all good. We finally removed that IGMP snooping. And the route distinguisher is wrong. We need to correct that. What else do we got here? The aggregate Ethernet interfaces. Looks like the whole Ethernet switching table is missing. Okay, and we got the wrong DNS servers, so we got our work cut out for us as far as broken things goes. Stay away from the backup directory. All right, and let's take spine 1's configuration. Can we access spine 1? I can't access it. Man. I might have to reboot the box. I may have done something to it that really put it in a bad mood. Let's try it again. Yeah, we really upset spine 1. I hate doing this, but let's go ahead and power it off and power it back on. One of the main reasons I really hate doing this is the fact that, excuse me, we have to wait for that virtual chassis. I'm sorry, not the virtual chassis, but the point-to-point link in between the routing engine and the forwarding engine comes up, and that can take a while. One other thing that I did add here this morning is a Microsoft AD server. I'm just going to give it an out-of-band management link as well. I had created a temporary network to test something, and that network did not work as expected, so I'm going to go ahead and disable that. All right, as the spine switch comes on, oh, there's a delay set on there, isn't there? There is. I have a delay set on the spine, so it's gonna delay us. That's fine. I just don't remember how long I waited on it. Actually, let's go ahead and stop it and take that delay off. And if you remember, the reason we have these delays set on here is so that we could, in theory, just press the Start All Nodes button hidden right over here, Start All Nodes, and that will stage each device turning on in 30-second intervals to give the server just enough breathing room to where it's not overwhelming the system trying to turn on 20-something virtual machines at once, but still not making us sit here and wait for forever. So let's click on our spine. That should be coming up immediately. It is. This is going to take a considerable amount of time, so we're going to move our attention over to spine 2. I'm going to do this load override terminal. Again, this allows us to say everything that we paste here in this configuration in the terminal will become the running configuration, and anything that's missing or anything that was previously on the config that's not in this pasted output, go ahead and remove it. Okay, so I can already see that we've got some errors within our commit. Let me try it again because it may have been a copy paste issue. Well, there definitely looks to be an issue up there of some sorts. Yeah, okay. Where had we messed up? It looked like we're missing a semicolon here. This is on the same line. Where else did we mess up? It did not like our interactive commands. Okay. We've got some work to do, which I'm not surprised. I thought we were going to have some kind of challenges. Okay, so let's look at the output of our configuration and figure out what we did wrong. All of the groups config looks good. Let's move over into our system here. System looks pretty decent. I'm looking for these semicolons at the end, and I'm making sure that everything is correctly spaced here. If it wasn't, then we could easily correct that in our Jinja 2 templates. Okay, root authentication, that looks good as well. Okay, okay. Let me correct the DNS servers because that's going to bother me. Let's go to the group vars, all, system, and this is actually supposed to be 0 and 1. Okay, easy enough. We just corrected the DNS servers, so that will run appropriately in the future. What's interesting is that it looks services, edit groups, ISS protocols, statement has no contents ignored. Is that right? Protocols. Let's just take this as a snippet and excuse me. Let's get our configuration in its current state. Load override terminal, and I'm only going to paste in this section, which is our groups config. There is a problem here. Okay. Did it? I'm getting the feeling that it doesn't like when I paste in this configuration. Let's open this to the side and let's compare it with what we have today. Oh, look at this. Level 2 wide metrics only. It wants this on the same line. Okay, that's easy enough. We can do that. Anything else? So let's come to the Jinja 2 template for groups. Here we are. And we are looking at the ISIS. So it's in protocols. And here we are, right here. Let's go ahead and let's do this. Let's add a export limit to the IS. So the problem that we have is that when we look at the configuration that we've generated, we see that under level 2, we've created like this new curly bracket. And then on that curly bracket, we've added a single line where it says wide metrics only. Whereas if on a Juniper device, if we don't have more than one item, typically we won't break it out into a separate line. Now, the very next line is a contradictory statement to that. But in the case of level 2 for ISIS, it's either expecting it to look like this, right? It wants it to look like this, or it's expecting that we have more than, this is still a valid if we had more than one configuration knobs on here. And so the configuration knob that I'm going to add is this prefix export list, which does exactly what it sounds like. And let us go ahead and revisit the groups for, is that going to be all? Let's look at the all. Yeah, okay. And let's hit this. So prefix export limit, we'll say 2,000. 2,000 routes is our export limit. All right, let's go ahead and reconfigure that. And as that goes through, let's check in on our spine switch here, see how it's doing. Okay, we're at the login prompt, which is promising. Juniper 123. Oh no. So our switch is in a bad state. So you'll see that here it thinks that it's in a line card mode, which is valid if you're running in a virtual chassis, but we're not running in a virtual chassis, so we've confused this poor EX switch. So if I try to enter the edit mode and I do a show here, okay, this isn't too bad. Maybe I can get away with this. Let's do hey, that's not too bad. Let's do this instead. Exit. I'm gonna show virtual chassis. Yeah, it thinks it's in a virtual chassis mode. It thinks that this spine is in a line card mode, and you can run into this from time to time. But let me do request system reboot at now. Okay, and that spine switch is going to go ahead and reboot. And fingers crossed, when it comes back online, it no longer thinks it's in a virtual chassis mode. and coming back over onto leaf 2. All right, our configuration is done. Let's go into not grab the backup folder, but grab the generated one. Okay, so look, I've got this little green column here, and this is telling me that there has been an addition to this configuration, right? Where line 10 was previously empty, it is now sporting this new configuration context called prefix export limit. So I'm going to grab the full configuration again, and we're going to do another load override terminal and paste it in there. I think we still had some problems. We did. Oh, we had a lot of problems. Okay. Let's figure out where we had messed up. Edit groups, protocols, ISS, prefix export. Did it? Yeah, there must be a problem with my copy paste on here. Let's grab that this snippet right here, and let's see if this is valid configuration. Load override terminal. Paste it in here. Am I missing? Yeah, my paste actually stopped. You can see that. Okay. So let's see. Look at that. Yeah, we pasted just this small block of code here, but that's right. I'm connected to it. Am I connected to it over Telnet? Yeah, I am. That's what is messing me up here. I connected to this box over the that Telnet console port, and there's a super limited buffer on doing that kind of connectivity. So let's just go ahead and reconnect to all of our devices and new tabs here. There's our spine 2. I'm hoping our leaves come back online. There we go. Yeah. All right. Spine 1 may or may not come back in that connection method as the box is still booting up. All right. Let's try a load override terminal from here. I'm going to copy and I'm going to paste it into here. Hey, much better. Much better. And okay, so load complete, no errors. Let's do a show compare to see what's been changed. Okay, this is a little bit more in line with what we were expecting to see. Okay, so we've got a lot of things that have been added or subtracted. Some of them intentionally, some of them not intentionally. Some of the first ones that I look at as not intentional is we seem to be missing our ISIS configuration. It doesn't seem to be on, at least for the interfaces, it doesn't seem to be here. That's a problem. We also have we have the incorrect route distinguisher on the VRF. That's also a problem. We probably sourced it off of loopback 0 when we needed to actually source it off of loopback 1. We added some descriptions. Okay. We also have the incorrect route distinguisher. Spine 2 has the route distinguisher for spine 1. That's a problem. We're gonna have to fix it. So let's start from the bottom up. And the first thing is that we see that the VLAN for Redtail Data Center now has a description. Okay, that's what we wanted. Nothing to do there. Switch options has the incorrect route distinguisher. All right, good to go. Let's go ahead and address that. So let's look into our variables and so since this is a host specific variable, right, because this is unique across the environment, I'm going to begin my searching at the host vars directory, and it's probably going to be in this device. Let me see. No, that's actually legit. That is what it should be. Where is switch options getting that information from? Let's come back into our group vars for all switch options. Look at that. I hard coded it. I hard coded that's why all of them are all off. Okay, don't hard code. Ansible, I'm sorry, this is going to be device.lo0.ipv4. That is again founded in device lo0 IPv4. While we're here, let's go ahead and create a lo0 or an a loopback 1. Right, and let's create this one as 222. Okay, I think that's correct. Let's table that part for right now. Let's go ahead and rebuild this configurations again. So and we would have seen that on across all of our boxes, because in the group vars under switch options we had the route distinguisher hard coded to an IP address, and that's a no-no, right? We don't want that same IP address to be used for all of our devices, especially as a route distinguisher. You can't distinguish amongst the routes when they all look like they're coming from the same device. A really bad time. Oh my, okay. So we've got this configuration being rebuilt. Again, we're building every single section of the configuration in individual files. Then we assemble them into a mega file and push that to our remote endpoints. Our config folder here is about to expand with 6 configurations. There we go. Let's grab spine 2s and let's do the same load override terminal operation. Paste it in here and continue our journey from bottom up to figure out what needs to be adjusted. Okay, so we've got a lot of adjustments here. You'll note that the route distinguisher within the switch options is no longer a problem for us. The descriptions is fine, we're going to leave that. Removing IGMP snooping is completely fine. I'm not going to be doing any multicast in here anyway. Protocols set to LLDP. I actually prefer this. It makes my interface descriptions show up within my LLDP neighbors, which is exactly how I like it. We've added descriptions here for our BGP adjacencies. Again, this is for the EVPN overlay. But we've got a problem here. We've got a problem in that the configuration that we are generating from Ansible is missing some components of our ISIS configuration. So I'm going to do a rollback. So I'm not going to commit those configurations, and let's take a peek at what the ISIS configuration looks like right now. And let's compare that with what we've generated inside of Ansible. Okay, BGP, ISIS, and that's good enough. All right, so if we compare what's on our terminal here, I'm sorry, within our text editor here with what shows up, sorry, let me back out of here. Okay, compare this to this, and you see that we've got a gap that we need to address. First thing is the interfaces are declared, but this is a spine switch. We're missing some interfaces. We're missing interfaces 2 and we're missing interfaces 3. And none of those interfaces have point-to-point configured on them. So that's going to be easy enough to fix. Let's go back to our host vars directory for protocols, and we are looking at spine 2. And what do you know? We do not have interfaces 2 or 3 provisioned, and neither of them have the configuration option as being point-to-point links. Let's go ahead and adjust that to make it work more correctly. And let's visit our Jinja 2 template to figure out what we're expecting in Jinja 2 as far as the data model goes in order to render that configuration. I'm going to open up the Jinja 2 onto the side here, and let's look for the words point to point. Point to point. All right, there we are. And this is for ISIS. Okay, so simply just looking for underscore point to point, and I'm going to set that to null. The null aspect of that really doesn't affect anything, because if you look at what we're doing from the Jinja 2 perspective, we're just looking to see if this object exists, right? The object exists here for all these point to points, so we are good to go. Where is this defined? This is under spine 2. Let us copy and paste it and put this also in spine 1. All right, easy, I like it. Let's go ahead and rebuild our configuration from scratch again. In the meantime, let's check in on spine 1. Hey spine 1, how are you doing? Okay, let's see if it came up as a line card again. Oops, Juniper 123. And it did not. Okay, so it is in a good state. Let me open up a terminal, an SSH session to spine 1, and we can begin fixing that side as well. Focusing right now on spine 2, but spine 1 was obviously in a bad state after we had pushed a configuration to the box that kind of put it in it gave it an upset stomach, and we're here to make it feel just a little bit better. All right, spine 2 looks, oh yeah, we haven't, here we are. We're generating our configs, and we're done. So spine 2, hey, look at that. See, we've got all of our interfaces now declared, and they are set with point to points. All right, excellent. Let's go ahead and paste this into our configuration as load override terminal. And let's just paste the whole thing. All right, no kind of commit errors or no copy paste errors. Makes me feel pretty good. All right, so let's see what now. Okay, we know about the VLANs, we know about removing IGMP, we know about removing LLDP or changing LLDP parameters, adding these BGP, adding the BGP groups. Let me think here. For the routing instance, now this is interesting. I thought we had standardized on loopback 0 as being the route distinguisher. Let me look at the IP address that we have for interface or loopbacks. So we have only a single loopback on this. Let me roll back my config. That's going to be a problem. So we definitely want loopback 1 to be within the routing instance for our VRF, and we want the route distinguisher in that VRF to be based on that loopback 1 interface. The problem is that in our configuration, we just torched the loopback 1 interface. So we'll definitely have to address that. Let's look as well at the, okay, so coming up here, we need to address the route distinguisher issue. Actually, it went ahead and pasted in, again, the wrong loopback IP for our route distinguisher. Focusing on spine 2, let's close out all of our configuration YAML files. All right, and close the Jinja 2. All right, so we're here at switch options. Look at that. For switch options, no, that's good. It's under routing instances. Routing instances, the interface, this is good, but this is wrong. We don't want it to be loopback 0. We want to source the route distinguisher based on the IP of loopback interface 1, which we also have to create, by the way. Let's go ahead and do that creation on our spine devices. Let's look at interfaces. Here's loopback 0. Let's go ahead and add in, let's do a little copy paste. I'm gonna, let's change this description for loopback 1. This is gonna be VRF redtail loopback interface. All right, so this loopback is for our global routing table. We use it in our route distinguishers. We use it in ISIS. And this loopback interface is the one that we use for our VRF. And so our VRF is going to have two interfaces in it, the loopback address and the IRBs. So any layer 3 VLAN is going to be also within that VRF. And that is not going to have an ISO address. All right, let's just copy the things that we've changed, which are these, and let's add that into our other spine switch here at the bottom. All right, that's easy enough. Okay, I think that's good. Let's come back to in our config and see what we had also made some adjustments on. Routing instances. Oh, I needed. No, I changed it at the group level, so I don't need to make that change anywhere else. Okay, it looks like I removed this community configuration, and I don't want to do that. Let's figure out where I had messed up in policy options. So I need to check policy options. It looks like we made a couple boo-boos. Forwarding options, storm control, that's fine. We had taken this off on the spines, again, because we don't have any endpoint systems connected at the spine level. For SNMP, that's good. That's our SNMP configuration. I feel happy with that. Loopback 0. Oh, no, I'm sorry. This is loopback 1. Right, we just addressed this within the YAML file where we had added in loopback 1 back into the mix. Oh, IRBs. The IRB is using the wrong sub-interface. That's going to be a problem for us. So this is not interface IRB 255, right? There is no VLAN 255. It's VLAN 100. So let's change that as well on spine 2. Okay. Good to go. What's the other part that was missing though? Here we are. The virtual gateway address was missing. So we need to definitely add that back in into our configuration. Let's figure out if we've ever accounted for a IRB to have a virtual gateway address. And I'm going to look into my roles here under interfaces, templates, and Jinja 2, and I'm just going to search for the word of virtual. Oh, there it is right there. Okay, great. So we actually do have that already accounted for in our Jinja 2. Good job. Good job. I've done this before. All right. So up in here, that's going to be nested in family inet address is a new object called virtual gateway address. So family inet address is going to have a virtual gateway address, and it's going to be 10.100.100.1. And let's add that on spine 1 as well. I'm sorry, spine 2. Okay, let's go ahead and regenerate our configuration in the meantime. That should be, we should be getting pretty close to it. Now we still have to revisit the policy options. I'm just a little hesitant to jump into that one. I think there's some easier fish to fry in the meantime. Looks like we completely deleted our EM0 interfaces. Oh, and I got the IP addresses backwards on our 10 gigabit interfaces. So you can see interface 1 should actually be 14. Interface 2 should be 13, 12, 11, etc. So I got them backwards. I need to make that adjustment too. Since we're already in that file, we'll start with here 11, 12, 13, and 14. All right, and I will rebuild that configuration again. Oh, did it? Wait a minute. It looks like I messed something up here. LO1. LO1 doesn't live for spine 2. Device 2. LO1 is definitely there. Ah, but it's not there on spine 1. Okay, let's add it now. and that IP is going to be .1. Okay. So the previous Ansible play had failed because we had created this loopback1 interface, but we only created it on spine 2. So when the Jinja template was trying to get loopback1, it's trying to find where it's declared, it wasn't declared for spine 1, and so the configuration generator had failed. Good to go. And we're going to soon see this config directory expand here with 6 configurations. Now, like I said, Ansible is not known for its speed. But even still, like, we're generating 6 full configurations, each of them with how many lines of config? Around 355 right now on the spines. So that's a pretty sizable amount of configurations. You can actually speed up this whole process if you didn't do what I'm doing here, right? Where I'm building every single part of the configuration as a single file, and then assembling them as one big mega file. If you instead just built the whole mega file from a single Jinja 2 template, it would be much faster. The problem I have with that is that supporting that either from a data model or from a Jinja 2 perspective it can become unwieldy very quickly. I prefer to have things broken out by their configuration stanza because it makes it easier for me to figure out where I need to go and make adjustments when things aren't working in the way that I want them to. So I'm willing to take, the 57 seconds that it takes to build these configurations. I'm willing to take that kind of downtime and in order to have that luxury of knowing where to go in order to correct things. All right, and just so you know, when we have this playbook in a state that we want it, I'm not going to be doing what I'm doing here. I'm not going to be opening up a load override terminal and pasting in the full configuration. We're just going to have Ansible push it to the device. But we're still kind of working out the various nuances of this playbook. So that's what we're going to be doing here for now. All right. Okay, so we know that we still have to fix the policy options. That's fine. We create SNMP. It looks like we still are missing the loopback1 configuration. It got stripped. Oh, it got put on loopback 0. You see that? How did I manage to do that? You guys probably caught that and I missed it. Let's revisit this. Loopback 1. So I had overwritten the interface name. All right. Okay, as that's going, let's go and revisit. Our next play run will fix that. Here we are. Oh, I've got the wrong IRB IP address as well. Man, we really messed this up. This is not correct. This needs to be 10.100.100.2/24. This is the VLAN interface for VLAN 100. I had it set to the Ansible host, which is not what I wanted to do at all. Let's copy that line and let's paste it right here and change this to .3. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and cancel my playbook execution and rerun it so that we get the correct IP address on here. So we are still missing the EM interfaces. I need to figure out why. We are also missing the apply group on here. That's pretty important. Here we've just added the ability to have up to 64 aggregate Ethernet interfaces, LACP, bonds, teams, port channels, ether channels, whatever you like to call them. We're adding the functionality to have up to 64 on our box. Okay, we're removing some system extensions changing some of our syslog structure, adding a syslog server, adding DNS servers, removing the vagrant user, adding in mine. Oh, we're missing the IRB options group. Definitely going to need to fix that. And then we'll be done. I promise this time we'll be done. Up at the top, yeah, we're definitely missing the apply groups for our interface stanza. So if we come up to the very top here, we can see at the very top, if configuration interfaces apply groups is defined. If it is defined, then we can apply the apply groups to the interfaces. In our case, we did not define it, and we can validate that. Configuration interfaces, there should be something like this right here, apply groups. Okay, and let's look at our apply groups for, oh, we don't have a groups yet for the spine. That's going to be a problem, because right now it's just inheriting this group, and this group is great, but this group doesn't do everything we need it to. Let's go ahead and create one more. Let's create a spine specific group file. So groups.yaml. We'll go ahead and add this one, but we'll add another one here for our IRB options. This one that got removed. All right, let's just go ahead and copy this and create a little buffer space down here and start doing some copy paste love. So I'm changing the name to IRB options. This will be for interfaces, IRB, and then let's see. Do I have a reference that I can use instead? Because I don't like where this is going. Let me delete this. And let me look back at my old project here to see if we have a shortcut for how our IRB options should be structured from a group level. Group, Ansible, host vars, Tatooine, nothing on groups. I'm sorry, we're in the host vars, so we need to go to the group vars. For router, groups. Hey, there's one. I know I've done this before. I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to paste it right here. Okay, great. And we need to uncomment the proxy MAC IP, and let's go back and look at our running config. This is the virtual MAC that we want on here. Okay, that's good. Primary and preferred. Okay, excellent. In the meantime, let's run this and let's figure out where we need to make any additional adjustments. In the meantime, let's also start to take a look at the policy options to figure out what we're missing so that we can make those adjustments. Oh, thanks for reminding me. We also need to add the interfaces EM0 and EM1. And yep, I am absolutely missing those interfaces. Let's see if I had declared them. I'm pretty sure I declared them in the leafs, and I did. There's EM0 and EM1. So we'll just copy those and we will paste them right underneath right before the IRBs. Okay, that looks good. And let's do it on spine 2 as well, right in front of the IRBs. Okay, so now we've created interfaces EM0 and EM1. All right, so we've got this. Oh, did our change fail? We had a Jinja template error. Where did it fail for us? Did we forget to close a loop somewhere? Let me run this again. The thing is that if you have a problem with your Jinja 2, it should have failed everywhere. what changes have we made since we last visited this? Did we make any? I don't think we made any changes to the Jinja 2 template. We haven't. And I can validate that because one, I see that the file is still like in white name, whereas these I've made modifications and they've changed the name. But look at that. Okay. Where did I mess up? Which device, first of all, is messed up? Spine 1. There's a problem with my data model on Spine 1. Spine 2 is good. Leaf 2 is good. Spine 1 is having a bad time. I got about 10 minutes before I'm going to have to cut this out. So let's split to the right and let's figure out what we've done wrong. Interfaces. Oh, look at that. Apply groups. We declared it, but we never used it. Let's go ahead and fix that. Apply groups should be IRB options. And let's just validate that that is the name of the group that we've created for our spines, groups, IRB options. Okay, great. Let's copy line 3 over to spine 2. Clear the screen and run that again. All right. So that should put us in a good spot. That'll fix the templating engine. What the problem was is that we had declared apply groups right here, but we just declared the key. We didn't actually declare a value for it, and we only did that on spine 1. I'm rushing things. So the problem is that when Jinja 2 is looking for any instance of apply groups being defined, in this case the object was defined, but there was no value associated to it, where the template engine Jinja 2 was expecting a value. Since none was there, it stopped, it choked, it said, hey, we got a problem, please go ahead and fix it. All right, so let's wait for another couple seconds. And there we go. Spine 2 has now been fully created. We got some nasty spaces in here. Don't worry about those spaces. I'll show you how I end up stripping those out here soon enough. Let's visit our box here. Let's do a rollback. Load override terminal. I'm going to paste this in here. Okay. And show compare. All right, starting up again at the bottom, we know that we need to fix policy options. Okay, so now we have loopback 1 defined on here. The only thing that we changed is we added a description. Hey, that's good. All right, so the last thing that we need to fix on spine 2 is the policy options, and it looks like we had, the only thing we did, actually, no, we don't need to fix this. We just changed the name of the term. The term was previously called 1. We renamed it to EVPN routes, but if you look, they're actually constructed in the same format. So that's gonna work. That's fine. We don't need to make an adjustment there. What we do need to fix is term 1 then. This looks to be broken. Let's visit our configuration to figure out what happened. Yep, okay, that's actually missing. So let's look at policy options, export VRF. Okay, so in this case, we term 1 then, what we're missing is the ability to apply the community. So we're accepting it, and that's great, but we also need to apply the community on here. I'm pretty sure it's defined within the data model. It's probably missing in the Jinja 2 template, so let's do a little validation on that. We defined this as a spine in our policy options, and here, yeah. So we can see here's that policy. This is what this section right here generates this section of config, but there's missing a component, right? We see that this community :com1, this actually isn't being applied, and that's likely because the Jinja 2 template that takes in all these variables is missing the ability to apply a community within a statement. So let's visit policy options and policy options. All right, and then what I'm looking for is this word community, not under prefix list, definitely under policy statements, but not under from. Again, we need to find where it's missing on the then. All right, it's applied here. Am I, if that is a community and it's an array, so, but it's not an array, is it? That's our problem. So what it's actually expecting us to do here is have it like this, because it's looking to see if this community is set as an array, and then it iterates over that array. And we had it previously set to a dictionary, and that's why it had failed on us. So let's go ahead and reprovision. All right, the sun's coming up. Oh no, oh shoot. Has no attribute community name, so we messed up again on the, oh. So it's definitely still looking for that, but we did mess up on the data model. So it needed to be like this. Good heavens. There's like 800 things that can go wrong on here. I think we're hitting number 742 of those 800. Right, is this it? Is this going to be the last adjustment that we need to make? I think it might be the last adjustment I have time to make. Load override terminal and paste that in here. Okay. Show compare. Okay, let's see here. Yep, that's good. Okay, all of this is good. SNMP is good. Adding descriptions is good. Removing this stuff is all fine and dandy. Let's do a commit check. And, okay, so we got a warning letting us know that the user ID for Nornir is going to be changed. That's totally fine. Other than that, it should still pass. Yes. All right. Let's go ahead and commit that. Let's do spine 1 next. Spine 1. Same song and dance. First of all, run show chassis FPC 0. Okay, it is online. Load override terminal and paste in our full configuration. Let's see if any adjustments are needed on spine 1. All right, spine 1, all of this we expect. That looks like it's going to be good too. Let's go ahead and commit that. And let's move over to leaf 4. Hello, leaf 4. Leaf 3, leaf 2, leaf 1. Okay. Oops, sorry. Edit, and we're going to say load override terminal, leaf number 4. And we're going to paste this whole thing in here. Running out of time. Show compare. So route distinguisher changes. That's what we want, actually. I wonder if that had to have been affecting us. Okay, that's good. Let's go ahead and commit it. And let's go over to leaf 3, and leaf 2, and leaf 1. Oops, yeah. Load override terminal, load override terminal, load override terminal, and, oh, sorry, commit. Okay. Leaf 4 is committing. Leaf 3, we need to paste in the configuration. Leaf 4 had committed successfully. Run show BGP summary. Okay, looks like we lost our, oh, we've actually had a broken BGP adjacency for the last 11 hours. What did, oh, that's right, because I really messed that up when I pasted in those configs. Show compare on leaf 3. Okay, that looks good. We were running with a misconfigured route distinguisher on our VXLAN. Fascinating. Let's go ahead and go to leaf 2, and I'm going to paste this in here as well. And on leaf 1, we need to do the same operation. So leaf 1, and then paste that full config. Okay, leaf 2. Oh, it looks like we had a problem with leaf 2. Let's revisit that and let's figure out what was wrong with leaf 2. Leaf 2, let's try this commit, or this paste operation again. See if we get the same error. No, we didn't. Show compare. Alright, commit it. On leaf 1, ooh, yeah, we've been having some copy paste errors today. The good news is that if this passes, what we can do is we can get rid of copy and paste from here on out. We'll just have Ansible push the configs for us. Okay, show compare. Yep, that looks good. Commit. Did we ever restore BGP? I'm wondering. Unshow BGP summary. No, we're still in a broken BGP state. So we're going to figure out what I had done 11 hours ago. That was last night, right before bed, that we had done something on our configuration to break our BGP overlay adjacencies. And oh, look at that, we also broke the iBGP too. Well, when we fail hard. Run ping 192.168.200.2. And let's do that on run ping 192.168.200.11. Alright, but as far as our configuration goes, I feel like we're in a good state. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to declare a success working update. And I think we're going to push that. Oh, timeout. Oh, well, that's going to be exciting. I timed out my SSH connection to the box. Never a dull moment. Well, I'll have to figure out why we just lost SSH to this box. show BGP summary. Ping 192.168.200.2. No route. Show route. Oh, is ISIS down? Show ISIS adjacency. ISIS is down. That explains why our BGP is down. Alright, we have managed to really hurt this thing, but I am in a spot where I need to stop. So we will pick this up later tonight, figure out what we did as far as ISIS breaking, and we'll get back to you guys after that. Thanks for watching. Really appreciate it. Have a good day.